Okay, so we were here on the Soriano Network, and folks, I would be remiss if I did not bring up this Tony Kahn situation with Chris Jericho and the NDAs and all this other crap that's going on in AEW. So they had the World's End um, media scrum, and these media scrums for AEW and Tony Khan, he's got a history of them being really, 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 really interesting. Um, and a reporter from Pro Wrestling Illustrated asked Tony this question, and I want you guys to listen to this response. So, obviously, as you know, there have been allegations that have come out regarding Chris Jericho and a former female talent of AEW. That there may have been some inappropriate sexual activity there. Now, listen, is it true? Is it false? It could very well be true. It could very well be false. We don't know these things. And we do have hold the standard that everyone is innocent until proven guilty. So this was first off, and I just want everyone to Google the image of Tony Khan answering this question. Now, this is what bothers me about Tony Khan. Okay, and we can, yes, he's very successful. He's very rich. Yes, absolutely. He has, arguably the #2 wrestling promotion in the country. But he just continues time and time again to act like a petulant child. And he has no awareness, I think, of the real world. There's the Tony Khan world, and then there's the real world. So, Tony, Google this, because you're not going to believe this. He answers this question about sexual assault and Chris Jericho and is AEW a safe place for female wrestlers? And he answers this with this stupid freaking dumb hat that Tony Storm, who is another person that just I don't see the hype with her at all. I think she is nothing short of cringeworthy. I don't think she's charismatic. I think AEW really doesn't have anything there with her. The AEW stands love her. Me, not so much. And a lot of people, by the way. But Tony's answering this question in this stupid hat. Like, you're supposed to be this executive. Would anyone else, would any executive answer a question like that? First off, take the stupid hat off. Answer the question. The reporter asked the question. You can now see and process the information that this is going to be a big question, a serious question, a serious topic. So just take the freaking stuff off. You look like an idiot. But this is his response. And I just want to play this for everyone here. Let me see if I can get it here. I have it up on. There we go. This is Tony Khan answering the question about Chris Jericho at the AEW World's End Media Scrum on December 30th.
Kevin McElvaney, Pro Wrestling Illustrated. Julia, congratulations. Great match tonight.
Thank you.
I know a lot of people were happy to see 3 women's matches tonight, including the 0 Hour. I'd be remiss if I didn't ask. This is actually a question for Tony. There's a lot of conversation, especially the last couple of days, about the issue of safety and harassment, specifically involving women wrestlers. Without getting too much into the details, or some people may not want their names mentioned, but there have been a lot of conversations, and there's real concern from wrestlers, from fans, from media alike, about the safety of wrestlers behind the scenes. So, what has been done specifically to combat to prevent issues like sexual harassment in the AEW locker room, both, in the past and going forward, because this is something that should always be looked at. I think it's very important.
It's a great question, Kevin, and I think it applies to everybody in the company, women and men, and it's something we're very serious about, and we've had a policy in place, and certainly I think any time there's anything like that, we would make sure we do everything we can to prevent it. AEW has the best safety record, I believe, of any pro wrestling company in the world. I believe we have the most safe environment. I believe we have the best safety record of any pro wrestling company.
Whoa.
The record of AEW on safety.
Wait a second.
Any wrestling company in the world. And I think AEW is the safest place for pro wrestling.
No.
And if any of our wrestlers ever have a concern, they always have an open line to talk to me.
This
and
can't be
I believe anybody would sit here and tell you they always can talk to me anytime
they're
concerned about anything.
No. You're what? Wait a second. Hold on right there. Okay. Can we replay some of that again? If we can here.
Exclusively on Hulu and Disney.
Let me get this up here. Let's listen to this one more time.
That match was
this
my
is
first match on Dynamite.
Tony Storm here.
Real concern from wrestlers, from fans, from media alike, about the safety of wrestlers behind the scenes. So, what has been done specifically to prevent?
Now, just listen to this answer
in the AEW locker room.
Listen to it
in the past and
carefully
going forward, because this is something that should always be looked at. I think it's very important.
It's a great question, Kevin, and I think it applies to everybody in the company, women and men, and it's something we're very serious about, and we've had a policy in place, and certainly I think any time there's anything like that, we would make sure we do everything we can to prevent it. AEW has the best safety record, I believe, of any pro wrestling company in the world. I believe we have the most.
What are you talking about?
We have the best safety record.
Is this guy for real?
And I would hold the record of AEW on safety against any wrestling company in the world. And I think AEW is the safest place for pro wrestling. And if any of our wrestlers ever have a concern, they always have an open line to talk to me. And I believe anybody would sit here and tell you they always can talk to me anytime they are concerned about anything.
Is this guy serious?
If there was anything that came to light to me, I would take it to the disciplinary committee, and that's how we've been doing it. And I think our disciplinary committee has been doing a great job.
Wait, time out. Wait a second. Let's slowly go back. Okay. Listen to this answer.
To light to me, I would take it to the disciplinary committee.
No, you idiots. One more time. This is just how dumb this guy is. Listen to this.
Well, certainly, if there was anything that came to light to me, I would take it to the disciplinary committee. And,
you idiots!
The disciplinary committee has been doing a great job, and everybody.
No, you're the owner of the company. If somebody comes up to you with an issue like that, with a sexual harassment or anything like that, you say, "Hey, listen, fuckface, you're not doing this in my company," or he's gone. Or she's gone. You don't go, "Oh, let me just take it to the disciplinary committee. Let's take it to the the rat Brian Danielson, who if you say anything on social media, he will fine you." Yes. Am I a rat? Yes. Did WWE make me? Yes. It's just first off, there are so many things, folks. So many things that we have to take away from this press conference. And just that alone. And I'm not going to play the whole scrum. But I wanted to share with you that part of it. Because obviously this is a big issue here. And this is a big issue, obviously, in America in this day and age. And, the Me Too movement and everything like that. And again, there are some times where allegations are made up. I'm not 100% saying that Chris Jericho is guilty or that these allegations are of merit or baseless. I'm not going to sit here and say that. We have to see how this plays out. First off, there's no other company in America, pro wrestling company, that has more NDAs signed than AEW and Tony Khan. This guy doesn't want you to know what's going on behind the scenes in his wrestling company, and there's a reason for that. Vince McMahon led the WWE, WWF for 40 years, and he didn't sign these many NDAs. I mean, this is a joke. This guy doesn't want you to get into the inside of AEW. Why? Because he can go out there and parade it around and that, this is the greatest place on earth. This is the happiest place on earth. First off, let's step back a little bit and go through again key points of the answers that he said. One of the things that stood out to me was Tony saying that, and he said it about 4 times in a row, that AEW is the safest place in wrestling. I would put it anywhere. I would compare it to anyone, any wrestling promotion in the world. I would put our safety record up against anybody. Let me tell you why that's bullshit. Okay. Now, again, he can be, I don't know what he's talking about. If he's talking about NDAs, yeah, then it's the safest place in the world. If he's talking about signing NDAs and not talking about what's going on in his company, then yeah, AEW is the safest place in the world. But is it the in-ring product that he's talking about? Because how many time and time again, Rampage, Collision, Dynamite, who's going down with an injury? Who's botching something? These guys don't know how to wrestle. Men and women do not know how to wrestle in AEW. They don't. And yeah, WWE, I'm not saying that no other wrestling company has botches, but for the love of God, AEW, every time you turn around, every time you're watching the program, you're going to get at least one botch a show. So how is that safe? Okay, so take that out. Take that out. Maybe he's not talking about the in-ring product. Maybe he's not talking about that because maybe he knows, he's smart enough to know that there are so many botches there that he can't say that with any merit. Maybe he's talking about that there's never any backstage hoopla or circus antics going around backstage. Oh, wait, hold on. Didn't they have just a whole thing going on with CM Punk and Adam Page and CM Punk and there was a huge fight with the Young Bucks and everybody, and there were dogs biting each other and people getting bit and slapped and punched in the face and stuff thrown at each other? That was fine. Tony Khan went on his own television program. Now, this is why I can't take this guy seriously. And people will ask me on Twitter. It's still Twitter to me because X sounds freaking stupid. On Twitter, they'll ask me, "Hey, Chris, why do you want AEW to fail?" I don't want AEW to fail. I don't. I love ulterior options of wrestling. I loved TNA for years. The NWA, what they're doing with their product, I think Billy Corgan is screwing the pooch on that one with a couple of bonehead decisions the last couple of months. But I've given NWA a try, TNA a try. I'm not a WWE pom-pom waver. I'm not. And I'll call them out. I've called them out on many occasions. Look up on this channel how many times I've ranted about Vince McMahon and the creative process of the WWE. So I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm a WWE sycophant. And I certainly don't want AEW to fail. I've been to AEW shows. I've watched AEW. But it is really hard to sit there and root for a promotion to do well when you cannot take the owner seriously, when the owner is a fraud. He's sitting there, bold-faced with a stupid hat on his head, telling you, in response to a serious question, telling you that AEW is the safest place in the world, and he'll put that, their safety record up against anyone. Well, Tony, how come a couple of months ago you went on your own television show, prime time, and you made the announcement that you were fearing for your life? You were fearing for your life from Phil Brooks. You were fearing for your life. You were, oh my God, you were in the corner and you were fearing for your life. If you were the safe haven that you say you were, if you just look people dead in the eye at this media scrum and say we're the safest place on earth, well, how? How are you the safest place on earth when your wrestlers, male and female, botch almost every other move that they have in their matches? Okay. There's backstage fights everywhere. There's backstage animosity everywhere. You're the owner and you went on fearing for your life. How is this the safest place on earth? And again, just to sit there and say, just piggybacking back on that response that he had about the disciplinary committee, that, oh, if something happens and a complaint's brought to me, I will bring it to the disciplinary committee. Tony, you're the owner. You're the guy. The buck stops with you. So you should nip this in the bud. If it is a serious allegation, why? I mean, again, I'm not saying, sit there and handle it yourself, but the way Tony's making it sound, and again, I don't want the Tony Kahn fans coming after me, the Tony Kahn bots, but what I'm getting from that, and you can put in the chat and tell me if I'm wrong, what I'm getting from that press conference answer is that if someone goes to Tony Kahn with a complaint, he's going straight to Bryan Danielson and the disciplinary committee. Well, you have to sit someone down, Tony, and take accountability and handle it yourself. Then you tell the disciplinary committee what's going down. This is your company, Tony. You have to take some accountability at some point in your life. You have to take some accountability. And that's the problem with him. He doesn't. It's always, no. Like when the whole CM Punk stuff happened, when he debuted in WWE, it was, well, Bryan Danielson fired him. Tony leaked that out. Come on. It's tough for me to root for a wrestling promotion where I don't respect or like the owner at all. At all. And again, with the WWE, do I personally think Vince McMahon is a great guy? No. He's a scumbag. But Vince McMahon is one of the brightest genius minds that wrestling has seen. Trust me, he's had his flaws. And we could go on a 2-hour podcast about how Vince McMahon has had terrible ideas. But he's also had some great ideas, and he's also put wrestling on the map. So for that, I got to respect him. What am I respecting Tony Khan for? For lying to our faces? For taking a pot shot at WWE any chance he can get? Come on. Tony Khan, you're the owner. You got to do better.